Hello and welcome to your Geographical Skills videos. In today's episode, we are going to focus on how to construct a comparative bar chart. The data that we're going to use to plot this comparative bar chart is the birth rate and death rate over time for the country of Nigeria. So we need to start off with our graph paper and draw our two axes, X at the bottom and Y along the side. Now, even though we've got three variables here, we've got the year, the birth rate and the death rate, birth rate and death rate actually use the same scale, which is per 1,000 people. So they can actually be included on the same axes. So along the x-axis, I'm going to put the years, so 2000 up to 2015. And along the y-axis, I'm going to go from 0 to 50, because if I look at my table of data, I can see that my highest number is 43.2, so I need to make sure that my scale is high enough to be able to incorporate and include all of this information. And you can see that for that scale, I've gone up in tens, and each box or each square is worth 5. Now, we have two variables, and we're plotting both sets of data onto the same graph. So we are going to need a key to make sure that we don't get confused. I'm going to use yellow to represent birth rate and red to represent death rate. If we look then at our first numbers, for 2000, the birth rate in Nigeria was 43.2. So I need to look at my graph, find the square of 40 to 45 and work out approximately where 43.2 would go. So I'm going to put a line just about there to represent 43.2. Now, because this is a comparative bar chart and I need to include 2 bars for each year, I'm not going to go all the way across the square. I'm going to do half a square each. So half a square for birth rate and half a square for death rate. If I'm happy that I've put my mark down accurately, I can then get my ruler and join up the other 2 lines to make a bar. And I'm going to shade that in to make sure that I don't get confused as to which colour or variable, birth rate or death rate, that bar is showing me. Next, I need to look at death rate. So if I look again back at my table of data, it tells me that for 2000, the death rate was 17.9. So I need to swap to my colour red. I need to look at my scale and work out where 17.9 would be. It's going to be between 15 to 20, so I think it's about there. I need to make my mark, and then again I need to get my ruler, draw the other 2 lines and create the bar overall, shading it in again to make sure that I don't get confused. And you need to then do the same thing for the remaining sets of data on your bar chart. So for 2005, the birth rate is 42.5. I find 42.5 and make a mark. I use my ruler to draw the other 2 lines in, and I shade it in to make sure that it's showing the right variable. I do the same thing for death rate. The death rate for 2005 is 16.3. So I find 16.3, I think it's about there. Get my ruler, draw the other 2 lines in, and then shade my bar. And I do the same thing each time to complete the graph and make sure all of the data is plotted. There's the last bar there. And that is how you construct a comparative bar chart. However, there's a couple more things, as always, that we need to include before the bar chart is finished. Firstly, we need some labels for our axes. So my x-axis is going to be labelled as time, and my y-axis is going to be labelled as birth/death rate per 1,000 people, because remember, they use the same scale, so they are being shown on the same axes. The last thing that I need is a title, and remember at the start of this video we said that this data was for the country of Nigeria, so my title is going to be Nigeria's birth and death rates over time. And that is how you construct a comparative bar chart.